I think a lot of us have experiences as a kid that help shape our future. We all do. I was bullied. I stuttered. Talk to us about Dover and some kid
making
being
me
in a
drink
Pepsi
pee
cup and then making you drink pee. I've never heard of such a thing.
I can't believe you brought this up. I know I've only brought that up in 1 or 2 interviews, which again, I'm giving heavy accolades to anybody involved in the research team for this interview, or you yourself, very impressive. But what's even crazier about this is I literally thought about this either today or yesterday or the day before. In the last 72 hours, I thought about this. I don't even know why. I do know why, because it probably meant that I knew this question was coming. That's a whole nother story for another day. But it's really fascinating you just brought that up. I remember it very well. I was in Dover. I cannot even recall what the kids looked like, but I remember one was tall. I actually think I'm starting to remember. I think one of the kids' name was Elliot. He was the alpha kid. There was 4 or 5 kids. I was fucking 5, maybe 6. And again, my mother grew up in the Soviet Union. In the Soviet Union, everyone's scared of the government. So there was no kidnapping, there was no crime. People were just scared. What did that mean? It means kids were outside playing by themselves as early as 4, by themselves. I remember my mom telling me to take care of my sister when we moved to Edison. We played outside. We moved in August of '82. My sister was born in July. My sister was 3 and played outside with me without my mom anywhere near. Like, that's just how it was. So anyway, obviously if that's how it was for me. We moved to Dover. I'm 5. I'm outside. Just fucking outside. You just literally, again, you may know this, you're just trying to find kids that are doing shit. I found these kids. They were not good kids. And yeah, I remember it vividly. Like, I remember, it's hazy, but it's vivid. You know, kid runs off to the side, pees in the Pepsi can. I'm very sharp. I have common sense. I have a lot of common sense and I'm sharp. That's a core strength of mine. I have good instincts. I know when dangers is around. Like I come from like street, not like the streets, but like I'm a Jersey kid. Like I'm not getting tricked. Like my wallet's not getting stolen. Like shit like that. So I knew something was like I knew what was. That's what I most remember about it. I knew that it wasn't Pepsi. But they were able to force me to take a sip. You know, like, and it's not fun to drink another kid's pee, you know, and
Did you go home and tell your mom? And
yeah, I'm sure, but like, you know, like the truth is like, I remember like not drinking it, like, you know, put it in the lips, you spit it out. I remember, you know, it's so crazy, and this was foundational for me. Bullying has never penetrated me, meaning even then, it's funny where my brain's going. It wasn't fun. Right? It wasn't like I enjoyed it. But I don't think of it as like this iconic event. I think of it as a good story that paints a picture of like not everything is rosy. But I can give you a lot of those events. Like when I think I had twins move in, big guys. They were Andrew and Gregory. They were in 5th grade when I was in 2nd grade in Edison. They were tough kids. They were the biggest kids in 5th grade. I was the smallest kid in 2nd grade, and we played football every day and did make pretend WWF wrestling. I was getting my ass kicked every day. And they were like bullying, definitely by bully standards. I view them fondly as my friends. I just think there was a lot of adversity. I'm sure, I mean, I cried all the time until I was 12.
yeah,
I'm very emotional.
yeah.
Like even you getting emotional is like starting to trigger me.
Yeah.
Like I can cry.
I cried every day. I mean, almost. You know, my mom said, "Don't worry, you'll be more successful than all these kids one day," and it did. Yeah, I had a chip on my shoulder big time.
Yeah, and I, you know, to me, I'm competitive. Like I want to win. And maybe the chip is so deep that it doesn't even look, for me, it's just so healthy. I'm just always so happy. Like I want to win, but I don't want you to lose. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like when I compete, I don't think I'm taking something from someone. I love capitalism in its most purest form because it's just who's better. And then like, let's all go home. It's not a winner take all. It's very abundant. Anyway, back to the Pepsi story. Yeah, but like my mom, again, I mean, you have parents in 2025 going to like yell at teachers for a C. And that wouldn't even registered on my mom's radar.
Yeah.
If I came home and said, Mom, these boys made me drink pee, she'd have been like, okay. Or my dad, like this is when my dad would show up once in a while. I remember one time we were playing baseball when I was more like 11 in Edison, and the guy in the corner like yelled at me and my friends, and like it was really not like nice. It was definitely like overly aggressive. And like I told my mom like told my dad, and my dad like rang the doorbell and said, don't do that to my son again. Like I was like, oh my God, my dad like showed up out of nowhere to like be a hero. I like that. Like, but yeah, my parents didn't like, it was the fucking 80s. You didn't get involved in like too much shit. Now everything's so fucking sensitive. Back then it was just like, like she would comfort me and then she would tell me to wipe it off. And it was easy for me to wipe it off.